Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about the grand conjunction of Jupiter Saturn. This is a conjunction that is spanning 3 years. It is starting in 2019, then 2020 is the exact conjunction, but it continues in 2021. This is a major cycle, completion of a cycle and starting of a new cycle. So you'll see many different things happening, the dharma of individuals being challenged, our energies being affected because of all the different changes that are going to happen. So what to expect from it? Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and today we are talking about the grand conjunction of Jupiter Saturn. And do remember to subscribe and to press the bell notification. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And I explore Vedic astrology tutorials as well as transits, what is happening and how it affects you. So today we are talking about one of the great conjunctions of Jupiter Saturn. Jupiter Saturn conjunction takes place every 20 years. And some of the basic information that you would be interested is that every 20 years, Jupiter Saturn conjunction takes place. And it takes place in the same element. So 20 Jupiter Saturn will be in Capricorn, which is a earth sign. So 20 years later, it will conjoin in 9 signs away from Capricorn, which will be Virgo. And then another 20 years later, it will conjoin 9 signs away, which would be Taurus. And in every 60 years, the transits come back to their own position. But after about 19 years, 90, they shift into a different element. And these conjunctions, they will go through all the 4 elements. So as you know, in basics of Jyotish, we have 4 elements, fire, earth, air, and water. And the 5th element, ether, exists in all the signs. But you can also look at the element of the grahas, and the element of Saturn is air, and the element of Jupiter is ether. So this is air and ether, very high vibration energy that are conjoining together in the earth sign of Capricorn. As we have been having this conjunction, the last time Jupiter Saturn were together was in 1960. And 1960 was also a big change of energy. And that change resulted in the 60s, where there was a lot of youth coming to fore. There were some old-fashioned issues that went away and new energy was generated. Don't think this is an easy energy. And Jupiter is the sign of dharma, and Saturn is also the sign of dharma. He wants you to uphold dharma. But Saturn can also be very angry, very frustrated. And one of the rare factors of this conjunction is that it is going to take place at the exact degree or near the exact degree of Jupiter's debilitation. Jupiter gets debilitated at 5 degrees of Capricorn, and Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in December 21st, 2020 will be at 5 degrees of Capricorn. So that means that Jupiter is not thinking very wisely. It is going through some more materialistic element of his life, and it is learning to transform. You see, the debilitation means that you have to do something about it. If you're not doing something about it, then it becomes a problem. So to understand this conjunction and its big span of influence. And earth signs are practical signs, and Capricorn is very much so a sign of change, because this is where we take ultimate responsibility of our karma, and therefore we start fixing the karma. But this Jupiter Saturn togetherness began on 4th of November, when Jupiter went into Sagittarius. But they are very far away. They don't come together closely. They are involved in the 26th of December eclipse, and then Saturn moves out of Sagittarius on 24th, 25th, depending on where you are, of January 2020, and it is in dignity in its own sign in Capricorn. And Jupiter joins Saturn in Capricorn. Jupiter rushes through Sagittarius and goes into Capricorn on 29th of March. And they will be together in Capricorn till 29th of June. But they don't conjoin together. They are together, they will remain together, and they don't actually conjoin together. Then we have the Jupiter retrograding and coming back out of Capricorn on 29th of June. And then Jupiter will go back to Capricorn in November, 19th, 20th November. It's about midnight, so it could be 19th, 20th of November. And then it is finally now in the embrace of Saturn, and it will conjoin with Saturn on 21st day of the year. It is the winter solstice. It is the day we have Jupiter at its greatest debilitation. So this is a very rare combination. Last time Jupiter was having a conjunction with Saturn at its debilitation point was in 1100 AD. So that's many years ago. And historically, we can look at these conjunctions and study them. Each time the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction happens, it is, a major event in world politics and the world environment. And I would say, being in the Earth sign, we are very concerned about the environment just now and what is happening in the environment. And so this 6 degrees of Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is also in the second pada of Capricorn. So it is in Aquarius pada. So Aquarius is very much about environment and changing the world. And we have to be careful when Jupiter is in Capricorn, because we can sometimes compromise ourselves, compromise our dharma. But I always feel that Jupiter in Capricorn is dust over Jupiter, means some dirt is there, we have to purify it and clear it. Just like in 2020, when Jupiter rushed through Sagittarius, Jupiter will rush through Capricorn as well. And on 5th of April, it will move to Aquarius, where it stays till September. And then in September, it will go back to Capricorn. And the final connection between Saturn and Jupiter will be there in Capricorn. And then Jupiter will move into Aquarius on 20th of November, 2021. And the conjunction will be over for the time being. What we have to recognize is that this is a major time of transformation. And while Jupiter, Saturn in Sagittarius are more indecisive, Capricorn is going to be a sign which is doing something about it. And you will see on a political level, on an environmental level, on weather, everything, there's going to be some big change, discoveries. And as with some energy that ends, there is a new ideas and new inspiration as well. And I remember in the 60s, that brought a big change when last time Jupiter, Saturn were together. And this is a cycle within a big cycle. So this change of energy and this conjunction of Jupiter, Saturn, they are bringing a lot of unsettled energy within us. So all of us will be getting affected by it. And I'll make a separate video on how it affects you. But mostly you have to think is that it's more of a bigger change. It's not necessarily just about how individually it affects you. These are Jupiter Saturn cycles. They are generational issues. So you see 60 years ago, Jupiter Saturn were together in Capricorn. They are returning there. They are the two important teachers, actually. One that teaches us through experience, one that teaches us through wisdom and knowledge. And we will all develop something important during this time. The exact conjunction is taking place in Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra. So Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra is ruled by the sun, but it is also an ascetic nakshatra. So this is where we are sleeping on a hard bed. We are making some changes where we are restraining our greed, we are restraining our wasteful expenses. And this is not just of money, but how we treat the environment, how we use our transport, what we do with our jobs, everything. So we have to be in that mode of restraint. And that is the message of Jupiter, Saturn in Capricorn, and in the exact degree of Jupiter's debilitation. So it is telling us that we need to pay back our karma. We need to be responsible for the world, because Saturn is dominating in this conjunction, because Saturn sign the conjunction is taking place. So we've got to be responsible for what is happening. And children born at this stage will be quite powerful. You see in 60s, Barack Obama and a number of iconic personalities were born, 60, 61. Now 2020, 21, again, iconic personalities for the future will be born at this time. So that is it for today. I will make another video of how this conjunction affects you. It'll take a few days because I have a lot to do. And all the best, and thank you very much.